In this video, I'm going to walk through the 3 different ways that you can use Notion to organize your visual inspiration and how to make it in Notion yourself. The very first way to organize your visual inspiration is also the easiest. It's going to be considered very similar to a mood board, bringing all of your images into a singular page. Now, the con with this though is that it's a little bit difficult for you to find a piece of information or inspiration that you might have saved when it's nested in your projects. The intermediate way is general inspiration, and this is very similar to an inspiration board or like a Pinterest board where you're collecting things over time that you're like, oh, that's cool, let me just save that for later. The pros with this direction is that it's great for collecting across multiple areas or multiple instances. And the con of this though is that you can be adding things to your board, to your gallery, but not really know what it's for. So it might require some curation for you to go back and be like, is this still something that I'm inspired by? And the little bit more advanced way to do both of these is to have them sync. So you have 2 different databases. You have your projects and you have your inspiration. So if any of these ways that you are interested in using for your Notion, let me know and comment below which one you think you're going to be utilizing in your workspace. The way that you're going to create this is going into adding a new page into your project, and with a fresh page, let's say this is your mood board. So I'm gonna get like some of the images from my friend Head Explodey. I can copy image and then paste that into my Notion board, and then it's going to import the same image from my clipboard into my Notion. The thing is that if you're importing GIFs, you're going to have to save it to your desktop and then bring that in to Notion. You can also rearrange by hovering over the 6 dots on the side here, and then you're gonna click and drag. So then you can put them next to each other, especially if you have a series of them. And for you to be able to add captions, you can hover over your image, and then with the navigation that pops up, you're gonna click on caption. You can type in your caption, static image, and then you could say like, with animation, so because of the difference. But that's how I like to do it. I always like to save things to my computer, especially if it's animated, and then I can drop things in that are animated into my mood boards specifically. What's great about this too is that you can include your sources a lot easier by just pasting in the URL. So if someone is asking you, where did you source these images from? You can actually be very transparent about where you're getting them, and also create some breadcrumbs on artists that you might have been inspired by. So it's always good practice to always know who you're inspired by and what resources are you utilizing in your individual projects. What's great about this type of mood board also is you can create like different dividers, you can add headings. So I put like Annie Wong, and also like what are we paying attention to, like stop motion GIFs. So that can be included as well. Most of it is just a series of adding in images and rearranging them. Let's do another, and then just looking, because they're more static, then we can click in here and then copy the image and then paste that in and then do that. But I want to add another header. So I'm gonna make space for this header and then type in down the street, TV, and then I can copy this. What's great about Notion is that you can also paste the link. So I only have this selected, and I'm Command V-ing, pasting the link to the header, and that makes the header clickable as well. You can also add images in by pressing the plus button, typing in the word image. So this comes up, and then you can embed the link by like copying the image address from the URL and pasting that in here if you don't want to copy paste for whatever reason, or if you happen to know the URL. So you can do that for every single one. And you can change the width of each of these. So say if you want to create more attention to one or the other, so maybe I want people to look at this one for sure, then you can just keep it on that one. But say if you're scanning through this, you're sharing this with your art director, you can double click on it, and then you can bring a focus onto a singular image. So it makes it really great adding in text too. You can do some body copy. Say if I wanted to just copy this little segment here, I can press paste. You can also include that as like on the side. So then you have like a really nice mood board and also context for where you're collecting things. So that is the first one, which is easy. It's the inline, one creative project, and it's very useful for one project, but it can also be really difficult to want to find things again once it's in here. And the way to create one of these is I start with like a fresh page, and you can go into here and it's pretty easy. You just start with a database with a gallery, and then you start with a new database, and then you start adding in your images. So if you were to go back here, you can just start adding in this image. And this is great when you're following some of your inspirations, and I can even just put it down the street and you see a project that you like, and then you can add it to this page individually, and then you can do, I can add these. What's great about adding it to here is once you add images into the body of this page in Notion that's in a gallery, it's automatically going to be the cover of your main page. So we have, and you can start filtering them out this way. You can also do something like animation here, and then you can just do illustration so you can see what their expertise is and start tagging them that way. And then you can start creating a really full picture of what you're interested in and create those themes that you want to create. And that's why I kind of have a combo of both an individual person as well as like topics like social media graphics. So ultimately it can be a combination of both, even if you do a gallery. And the third way of doing this is going to be a combo of both of these. So the first combo of this is an intermediate version where you're copying your images and your mood boards into your new gallery. So for example, I wanted to do a new one. I'm gonna go into my gallery page here and then go to Core Dance Crew. And then I can look at this and be like, oh, I like these brand marks from the Kinjas, but I only like this one because it's a tight focus one. And then I'm gonna paste that in there. I like this too, so I'm gonna paste this in here. And then, and then this is different. So I think I like this as a possible inspiration that's separate from the Core Dance Crew. So I think I would do like black letter inspiration. Copy paste that. I'm gonna drag the 6 dots, put it on this side so that I can see both of them. I'm taking it out of my original project and I'm bringing it into my new gallery for myself. And that means that this becomes very robust. I've already been acquainted with this illustration, with these topics, and I know that this is gonna be a very curated space for me moving forward. You have your database property for your project. So let's do a table, for example. I'm just gonna pick table view for now, and then create new database because we're pretending this is your projects. And then you're gonna put in your project. So it could be like 23. I always put my dates into the project. So like, let's put event microsite. And let's just do a bunch of those. There we go, those are projects. Then you're also going to create a gallery view, which is going to be your new database. And this is going to be your inspiration. So you have 2 different databases. You have your projects and you have your inspiration. But right now they're not talking to each other. So create a new property called a relation. You want this to be related to your inspiration. So it's not coming up on the side here. You're gonna type in inspiration, and then it should be, you should see where this link is and click on this. You can show on the inspiration so that you can see what project that was for, and then you're going to add the relation. One is projects and one is their visual inspiration. You can add your new items in your inspiration just by adding in your images, doing it this way, and then you can add names to these. And you can also add them to your projects by clicking on here, and now they're linked together. So if I create a new one and we do down the street designs, you just copy this image and then paste it over. This project, the gallery view, and then filtered the inspiration by this project, you can see that only Head Explodey feature is featured on the event microsite. Everything would appear where it needs to be. So we can even do an additional inspiration. And then here. There we go. And so now you'll see who was used on every different page, with this being updated with the latest one. And if this is starting to get overwhelming for you, you can always turn this into a page. Turn this into a page by clicking on the 6 dots. And then you have your sub pages where you click into here for your projects, or you click into here in your inspiration, but all of those pages would still filter your inspiration in different ways. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you're interested in seeing some of the very basics on how to use Notion in this 5-minute tutorial, check out this video right here for you to walk through all of the different basics. It's going to be really fast, I promise you, and hopefully I will see you there.